Welcome back to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions radio show with Ronald Couming from RCS Technology Solutions. At RCS Technology Solutions, we help business owners and entrepreneurs achieve even greater success using various measurable and proven Internet marketing techniques and methods to help you attract, convert, and retain your ideal client. The purpose of this show is I break it into 3 parts, and we bring in 2 subject matter experts in the first 2 parts that help business owners and entrepreneurs realize some things that are necessary to help them achieve even greater success, giving them a couple of actionable tips. And then in the third section, I give 7, 8, 10 minutes, whatever is left over, some tips that people can also use. I'm very happy to announce that in our first section today, we have Sara Chevere, and she is the founder of the Freedom Coach Academy, where she and they help train and empower aspiring and new entrepreneurs to help them launch their businesses in a smart way. Good morning, Sara. Yeah.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Sara Nation. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent, but I have to apologize. I know your name is pronounced, your last name, the French way, but I don't think I pronounced it correctly. So can you please let the audience know the correct way?
The second part, Chevere, you did it.
Oh, Chevere. There you go, Sara Chevere. And I have to tell you, you know I'm in Internet marketing, and I help people with social media and Facebook Lives and all that stuff. But when I hear you do your Facebook Lives, and I like them because they're real, they're raw, and they're relatable. I love the way that you open up, and you say Sara Nation. Sara being your first name, but nation is like these are your followers. But it's not just like a group of people. Being your nation, it's like they're literally, it's like you're bringing them in as part of the family. So I just wanted to mention that to you right off the bat. I love the way that you use that, Sara Nation.
Thank you, Ron.
Excellent. Good for you. I know I've met you, and I've talked to you several times. I'm very familiar with what you do, and I really think you're an asset to anybody who works with you. But could you tell the listeners who may not be familiar with you just a little bit about yourself, who you are, how you got into this, and what you do, and how you help people?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a question. How many people in your audience, Ron, do you think wants to make more money? And how many people in your audience wants to make more money but also have a full-time job, so the time is very limited to do something outside of what they're doing right now? And I want to go ahead.
Did you want me to try to answer that, or was that just open-ended?
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe that my audience is pretty much made up of business owners and entrepreneurs. Some of them are already full-time into whatever endeavor they're into. But I have to say probably at least 20%, maybe even 30%, are still doing a full-time or a part-time job to pay the bills while their entrepreneur dream is developing. So I think what you offer is a great asset to them.
All right, perfect. So let me tell you a story. My background is in the mortgage industry, and back then I made multiple 6 figures. I was extremely successful, winning awards, President's Club, highest revenue in my company, travel everywhere, hanging out with my friends. And I tell you, it was not necessarily because of the money, but it was mostly because of the experience that I was having among the people that I love and I enjoy to hang with. Unfortunately, that didn't last too long. As you know, in 2008, the rug was pulled from under me. The market collapsed. I lost my job. Every company kept closing back after another one. And the biggest problem is that I didn't have a plan B. And finding a job at that time in the mortgage industry was new. It was a very sad period of time because not only I got affected, but my friends too. A lot of them lost not only their jobs, but they lost their homes too. So if it wasn't because one of my girlfriends introduced me at that time to network marketing and to coaching, I was able to survive at that point. But if I would have had like a plan B prior to that happening, then I probably would have not struggled as much as I did. Well, the bad news is that this is going to happen again because the market is very cyclical, right? Jim Rohn said there is a time for construction and then there is a time for expansion. And right now we're probably starting to live in an expansion period of time. But I'm sure that you're, and again, I'm trying not to infuse fear, but infuse awareness to everybody to be prepared because, technology is advancing quite a bit. And there's a lot of things that are becoming very the automation industry is like coming, like at a rapid pace. Even like now we're getting cars that, can drive itself, right? So what that's going to do to jobs and industry. So again, the market is cyclical. It goes up and down. So everybody should be prepared, have a plan B, or as an entrepreneur, we need to create a business, a sustainable business that allows to create the life that we have, that we want, to create our own future. Not just rely on a job, not just rely on a corporation, not just rely on the government, but create your own future. So I have created a 10-step process to leverage our skills, create a sustainable business in only 10 months with just 10 hours a week. And due to time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you and your audience 3 steps that we need to do prior to take the 10 steps. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely, and I have to agree with you that the automation is coming. I mean, you mentioned about the cars, and you see how Uber, a couple of years, I think it was like 7 years ago, Uber didn't really exist. They got a $500 million, venture capitalist, and now they're worth over $60 billion. And that's because they're using a lot of people, right, in their cars, but now they're moving towards automation. So they made so much money because they disrupted. They have disruptive technology, and they use that to disrupt the whole taxi cab limo service. But now, even then, they're refining that to a point where they're bringing in peopleless cars. So even all those people who are doing that part-time, they need to start to think about transitioning out. So it's just a matter of, if you don't make your job or your business obsolete, somebody else will. So innovation is huge. So please go ahead. Tell us the 3 things.
Yeah, absolutely. So imagine Uber sending you a car with no driver at some point. That could happen. So again, we all have to be prepared because we don't know what's going to happen in 3-5 years from now. And we all need to be prepared. So the first thing that you need to do is make a decision. You need to decide that this is what you want to do, and you need to start now, right? What do you prefer to do? Do you prefer to create your own future, your own life, or do you prefer to be on the unemployment line down the line? Because the thing is that corporations, they don't care. You're like a number, right? And you are not, they can let you go at any time with no reason. The second thing is you need to create a plan and you need to execute that plan. How are you going to do this? What is your idea? What is your why? How are you going to take action on that plan that you have created? And then the third part, which I think is very important, is you need a coach. You need to hire a coach. You need someone to keep you accountable, guide you through the execution of your business plan. The Chicago Tribune published and said, who exactly seek out a coach? And the answer is winners. Winners seek out coaches. As coaches, we have found the formula in order to be able to succeed. And all you need to do is hire a coach and be coachable to guide you. Okay? So if you want to learn the formula, get more clarity on what you want, your message, your product, how to leverage your skills, how to unlock your full potential, and not only enjoy your passions, but also find your purpose in life, who's your ideal client, how to find it, what do you need to have in order to have the online infrastructure, right, to create a great business flow, to create more credibility, and in the end, probably more automation as well, right? Because we all want the freedom that becoming an entrepreneur provides as well. So make sure that you go to Freedom Coach Academy and click on the booking tab, and let's have a chat.
Nice. So what was the top three again, just to sum it up? Number one is to do what?
You have to decide that this is what you're going to do, and you have to start now. Don't waste any other minute to do that. The second...
Okay, so that's number one. And the first is to decide. Don't wait.
Yes.
Take action. You're right, because you can have the best plan in the world, right? But until you actually take action, that's all it is a plan.
And that falls in number two, right? You have to make a plan on how you're going to do it, and you have to execute it. And number three, hire a coach. We all need a coach. We all need somebody to guide us, to keep us accountable. And we have to be coachable. That is what's going to allow us to achieve the success that we want.
Excellent. Now, once they take those three steps and then they contact you, and we'll get your contact info in a bit, and I guess there's 10 more questions or stuff that, like
Correct.
a little survey they can figure out at that point. But what are some of the things people can expect going forward? How will their business model change? How will they develop some clarity?
Well, that's precisely what I was going to share, because some people, they still don't know exactly what their message or their product is. They have no clarity about that. They don't know how to explain it. Or maybe they don't feel empowered enough to leverage their own skills, because sometimes we minimize our own accomplishments, and we think that we take for granted the abilities and the skills that we have. So I teach them how they can leverage those skills in order to unlock their full potential. And we all have a lot of passion. We all have a lot of things that we love to do, but there's one very important thing, and it's our purpose. There's a purpose that we have. There's something that, once we find that, we feel so fulfilled because we're making a difference, not only in our life, but in the life of others. So we need to know what our message is, who our ideal client is, and create the system that is going to allow us to reach our ideal client.
Nice. And that kind of goes back to figuring out what your why is. And if your why is strong enough, right, you don't work towards your why, because, that's just your why has to be strong enough that it's literally pulling you to it. And if you can figure out your why and it's that compelling, success is it's not an option. It's just a matter of time.
Exactly. If your why is not big enough, your excuses will be. So you have to make a choice. Which one do you want?
Yep. I think Jim Rohn has a saying about that too, with respect to the why. Your why has to be big enough to, or maybe that's exactly what it is, or your excuses will be bigger.
Absolutely. I'm a fan of Jim Rohn, and I'm actually putting on my Instagram today. I'm putting a quote from him too.
Yeah, I really do. I like Jim Rohn very much. John Asseroff, Jim Rohn. There's a whole bunch of people that I listen to, and Jim Rohn is just, some of his stuff is, 10, 15 years old, but the way it goes and the way it talks about the mental and the emotional aspects of being an entrepreneur and the things we need to understand and overcome, they're just timeless.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's golden. Till today, it is golden.
Yeah, and it's free. You just go to YouTube and just listen to it and just get your mind right. Surround yourself with positive. Sometimes you can't break free. Sometimes you do have that job. And, that's what I try to explain to my clients. If they're at that stage where they have an idea, but they still got to pay the bills, try to surround yourself with like-minded people. Stay away from the negativity and, listen to Jim Rohn. 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day on YouTube. It's free. Just click the button, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And again, there's nothing wrong by having a job that is going to allow you to give you the freedom that you want and the future that you want to create later on. Absolutely.
Yeah, and because you gotta have to pay your bills too. So you work your job and work on your dreams part time, but just stay steady. Be consistent. That's what I found one of the most important things, especially if, like, when I'm helping people with their search engine optimization or their Facebook posts. It's really about consistency. It is about engagement, but it's about just being consistent. If you do 10 or 15 or 20 minutes a day, it becomes a habit, and then it grows from there. And it's just, in the long run, it's just so much better. So can you give us maybe an example without mentioning a client's name of somebody you worked with and where they were at, and then after, a period of time, how they developed a success?
Well, I can mention somebody that basically was a jack of all trades. Let's start with that, right? Wanted to acquire any client who comes their way, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you really want to expand, you want to find your niche. You want to find who your ideal client is, because that's what's going to allow you to scale out. I understand that, yes, you want to make as much money you can, but if you are not doing what your purpose is, right? If you don't have that ideal client, that how can you scale up and charge more, for example, or expand and get a team in order to do what you specialize on? So I was able to guide that person in order to find who the ideal client, the right industry, and then he was blown away. Let's start with that he was able to actually channel all that spirit and all that creativity that he had in order to find that ideal client. And obviously from there, the business is going to blow up.
Excellent. Nice. So can you give us some contact information?
Yeah, absolutely. So whoever wants to chat more and learn more about this 10 steps to leverage your skill, create a sustainable business in 10 months with just 10 hours a week, they can go to freedomcoachacademy.com, and they can tap or click on the tab that says booking, and then book a time with me. That's the best way. And we can actually create do a business strategy session in order to create that plan. And from there, we will continue from there on what we need to do, the rest of the steps.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. And for the listeners, if you were unable to write that information down, this show will be archived like every other show. It will both be on WCAP, this 980 AM, their website. We will post it on there soon. And also now it'll be on my website, rcstechnologysolutions.com, under, go to media and then radio section. It'll be there as all episodes. So you'll be able to listen to the great information Sara gave you, and also get her contact information. Sara, I want to thank you very much. Forward to speaking to you in the near future. And listeners,
thank you, Ron, for having me, and thank you, everyone, for listening, too.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sara. And everyone, you've been listening to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions radio show with Ronald Couming from RCS Technology Solutions, where we help customers and clients achieve success and attract, convert, and retain their ideal clients using various Internet marketing methods and techniques. Thank you.